Optimistic versus pessimistic. These are one of the most common personality mindset word pairs in English. They describe how people think about situations and the future. Number 1, optimistic, meaning expecting good things to happen, having a positive outlook. An optimistic person sees possibilities, believes things can improve, focuses on hope and success. Had examples. She is optimistic about her future. I'm optimistic that things will improve. Despite problems, he stayed optimistic. Common situations. Used in career, health, business, exams, difficult situations, motivation. Common alternatives, word, tone, hopeful, emotional, positive, casual, common, confident, strong belief, upbeat, energetic, positivity. Number 2, pessimistic, meaning expecting bad things to happen, having a negative outlook. A pessimistic person focuses on problems, expects failure, doubts improvement. Examples, he is pessimistic about the economy. Don't be so pessimistic. She became pessimistic after repeated failures. Common situations, used in stress, failure, uncertainty, fear about future. Common alternatives, word, tone, negative, casual, common, doubtful, uncertain, hopeless, emotional, cynical, advanced, important difference. Optimistic, pessimistic, expects success, expects failure, positive outlook, negative outlook, hopeful, doubtful, sees opportunity, sees problems. Real-life comparison, situation, exam, optimistic, I think I'll do well. Pessimistic, I'll probably fail. Situation, business, optimistic, the company will grow. Pessimistic, the business may collapse. Common word pairs like this. English has many opposite pairs used daily. Learning in pairs improves vocabulary, fluency, thinking ability. Let's explore the most common ones. 1. Optimistic. Pessimistic, optimistic, pessimistic, positive, future thinking, negative, future thinking. Confident. Insecure, confident, insecure. Believes in self. Lacks self-belief. Examples, she is confident in meetings. He feels insecure about speaking English. Number 3. Generous, selfish. Generous, selfish, likes giving, sharing, thinks mainly about self. Examples, he is generous with money. Don't be selfish. Number 4. Honest, dishonest, truthful, lies, cheats. Examples, she is honest with everyone. He was dishonest about the report. 5. Humble, arrogant, modest, overly proud. Not examples, she remained humble despite success. He sounds arrogant sometimes. 6. Patient, impatient, waits calmly, gets annoyed quickly. Examples, be patient, he became impatient in traffic. 7. Responsible, irresponsible, dependable, careless. Example, she is very responsible, that was irresponsible behavior. 8. Mature, immature, mature. Immature, emotionally grown, childish. Examples, he handled it maturely, stop acting immature. Number 9. Ambitious, unmotivated. Ambitious, unmotivated, strongly goal-oriented, lacks drive. Examples, she is ambitious, he seems unmotivated lately. Number 10. Brave, cowardly. Brave, courageous, fearful. Examples, she was brave during the crisis, he acted cowardly. Number 11. Polite, rude. Respectful, disrespectful. Examples, he is very polite, that comment was rude. Number 12. Loyal, disloyal. Loyal, disloyal, faithful, supportive, betrays trust. Examples, she is loyal to her friends, he was disloyal to the company. 13. Reliable, unreliable. Reliable, unreliable. Dependable, cannot be trusted consistently. Examples, he is reliable, the internet connection is unreliable. Now 14. Sensitive, insensitive. Sensitive, insensitive, emotionally aware, careless about feelings. Examples, she is emotionally sensitive. That joke was insensitive. Number 15. Practical, unrealistic. Practical, unrealistic / useful. Impractical, impossible. Examples, let's be practical. That plan is unrealistic. Common professional pairs, positive, negative, productive, unproductive, efficient, inefficient, proactive, reactive, organized, disorganized, flexible, rigid. Nashed emotional and mindset pairs, positive, negative, calm, anxious, motivated, discouraged, resilient, fragile, focused, distracted, careless. Why learning in pairs is powerful. When you learn, optimistic, also learn pessimistic, because your brain naturally remembers contrast. This improves speaking speed, vocabulary memory, sentence formation, fluency. Daily life mini examples: situation, positive, negative; exam, optimistic, pessimistic; teamwork, cooperative; difficult, office, professional, careless; friendship, loyal, selfish; learning, persistent, lazy. Final learning tip: fluent speakers constantly use opposite pairs while speaking. For example, positive, negative, confident, insecure; calm, anxious, practical, unrealistic. This makes communication clearer, faster, more expressive. So while learning vocabulary, always learn, meaning, situations, alternatives, opposites together. Powerful English word pairs for daily life. Learning vocabulary in pairs is one of the fastest ways to improve spoken English because your brain naturally remembers contrast. For example, optimistic, pessimistic; confident, insecure; polite, rude. When you learn both sides together, you can express opinions faster, describe people clearly, speak more naturally, improve fluency. Let's explore many useful daily life pairs with real usages. Personality and behavior pairs: positive, negative, meaning, confident, insecure; self-belief versus self-doubt; humble, arrogant, modest versus overly proud; honest, dishonest; truthful versus lying; generous, selfish, giving versus self-centered; polite, rude, respectful versus disrespectful; patient, impatient; calm, waiting versus irritation; mature, immature; emotionally grown versus childish; responsible, irresponsible; dependable versus careless; loyal, disloyal; faithful versus betraying; reliable, unreliable; dependable versus inconsistent. Real-life usages. Confident, insecure. Examples: she sounds confident during interviews; he feels insecure about his English. Humble, arrogant. Examples: despite success, he stayed humble; the manager sounded arrogant. Responsible, irresponsible. Examples: she is responsible with money; that was irresponsible behavior. Mindset and emotional pairs: positive, negative, meaning, optimistic, pessimistic; positive, future thinking; calm, anxious, peaceful versus worried; motivated, discouraged, driven versus demotivated; resilient, fragile; mentally strong versus easily affected; positive, negative; constructive versus pessimistic; hopeful, hopeless; expecting improvement versus no hope; focused, distracted; concentrated versus unfocused; disciplined, careless; controlled versus negligent. Real-life usages. Calm, anxious. Stay calm during the interview; he looked anxious before the exam. Focused, distracted. She stayed focused during work; I get distracted easily. Resilient, fragile. Successful people are resilient; he became emotionally fragile after the loss. Work and professional pairs: positive, negative, meaning, productive, unproductive; effective versus ineffective; efficient, inefficient; fast, effective versus wasteful; organized, disorganized; structured versus messy; proactive, reactive; acts early versus reacts later; professional, unprofessional; workplace appropriate versus improper; cooperative, difficult, easy to work with versus hard to handle; flexible, rigid, adaptable versus unwilling to change; committed, careless; dedicated versus not serious. Real-life usages. Productive, unproductive. Today was very productive; the meeting became unproductive. Organized, disorganized. She keeps everything organized; his desk is always disorganized. Proactive, reactive. Good leaders are proactive; don't always be reactive; proactive equals acting before problems happen. Learning and growth. Pairs: positive, negative, meaning, persistent, lazy, keeps trying versus avoids effort; curious, uninterested, eager to learn versus indifferent; ambitious, unmotivated, goal-driven versus lacking drive; knowledgeable, ignorant, informed versus unaware; attentive, careless, paying attention versus not careful; skilled, inexperienced; capable versus lacking practice. Real-life usages. Ambitious, unmotivated. She is ambitious and hard-working; he seems unmotivated lately. Curious, uninterested. Children are naturally curious; he looked uninterested in the topic. Attentive, careless. The nurse was very attentive; a careless mistake caused the issue. Social and relationship pairs: positive, negative, meaning, friendly, unfriendly; warm versus cold behavior; supportive, unsupportive. Encouraging versus discouraging. Understanding, judgmental, empathetic versus critical. Trustworthy, manipulative, reliable versus controlling. Respectful, disrespectful, polite versus insulting. Caring, insensitive, thoughtful versus emotionally careless. Real-life usages. Supportive, unsupportive. My family is very supportive. He felt unsupported at work. Understanding, judgmental. She is very understanding. Don't be judgmental. Trustworthy, manipulative. He seems trustworthy. The salesperson sounded manipulative. Thinking and decision-making. Pairs positive, negative, meaning practical, unrealistic, sensible versus impossible, logical, irrational. Reasonable versus emotional, unreasonable. Open-minded, narrow-minded. Accepting ideas versus limited thinking. Thoughtful, impulsive. Careful thinking versus acting suddenly. Decisive, indecisive. Quick decisions versus difficulty deciding. Real-life usages. Practical, unrealistic. Let's find a practical solution. That expectation is unrealistic. Open-minded, narrow-minded. Try to stay open-minded. He is very narrow-minded about change. Thoughtful, impulsive. She gave a thoughtful answer. He made an impulsive decision. Energy and action pairs positive, negative, meaning. Active, inactive, energetic versus not active. Energetic, exhausted, full of energy versus tired. Enthusiastic, uninterested, excited versus lacking interest. Determined, defeated, strong-willed versus emotionally beaten. Engaged, disconnected, involved versus emotionally distant. Real-life usages. Determined, defeated. She stayed determined despite failure. He looked emotionally defeated. Enthusiastic, uninterested. Students were enthusiastic about the event. The audience seemed uninterested. Powerful advanced pairs, positive, negative. Assertive, passive, adaptable, stubborn, diplomatic, confrontational, resourceful, helpless, visionary, short-sighted, constructive, destructive, empathetic, cold-hearted, composed, unstable. Advanced usage examples. Diplomatic, confrontational. She handled the issue diplomatically. His confrontational tone created tension. Adaptable, stubborn. Successful employees are adaptable. He is stubborn about changing methods. Situation-based. Quick reference. Situation, positive word, negative word. Exams. Confident, anxious. Teamwork, cooperative, difficult. Leadership, proactive, reactive. Learning, curious, uninterested. Friendships, loyal, selfish. Communication, respectful, rude. Problem-solving, practical, unrealistic. Career, ambitious, unmotivated. Emotions, calm, stressed. Office, professional, careless. Final learning tip. When learning vocabulary, always build. Positive word, opposite word, real situation, example sentence. For example, positive, opposite, situation. Disciplined, careless, studies, optimistic, pessimistic, future, organized. Messy, disorganized, office, supportive, unsupportive, relationships. This helps your brain create emotional plus situational memory. That's why learning in pairs dramatically improves. Fluency, speaking speed, sentence creation, vocabulary retention.